going, people?
Walking through the valley of the shadow and I fear no death. Pushing through a war zone, put a stone in my chest.
How's it going? Shark on Dark. Much love. Thank you very much for joining in. Let's see who's going to join us. Just getting started, so let's see who's going to log in. Listen to Comeback by Vo Williams.
Bury my name, raise my cross, throw your stones, pay my cost, strip my pride, but remember.
Hey Jenny. Hey there Baba. Also waiting for people to join in, just listen to the lyrics. This is Comeback by Vo Williams.
Never give up, nah, I never did that, and even when they try to knock me down, I come back. Yeah. Come back. Count me out. Come back. Ain't no holding me down. Let's go. If you think I'm going easy, I don't know what's on your mind. I'ma tell you one time, you don't wanna cross that line. Rolling from the bottom, man, I stood up tall. Hope you ready for a battle if you wanna see my fall. You can burn my soul, you can break my bones, you can lower my flag, you can take my throne, you can do all that. But remember one fact, even when you try to knock me down, I come back. I come back. Yeah, I come back. Never give up. No, I never did that. Cause even when you try to knock me down, I come back. I come back. I come back. Never give up. No, I never did that. And even when you try to knock me down, I come back. Yeah, I am forever. I am unstoppable.
Yo, yo, yo. Thank you very much for joining in.
Let's go. Even if I fall, I'm standing up tall. They don't stop me now. I'ma come back strong. Even if I fall, I'ma stand up tall. They don't stop me now. I'ma come back strong. I come back. Yeah, I come back. I'ma come back. Even when you try to knock me down, I come back.
How's it going? Much love. Thank you very much for joining in. Yeah, happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday, Benghazi. I am Aurora. It's me. Jana. 201 Energy Wizard. Benghazi. Mrin Moe. Michael, how's it going? LV. Mr. Inglewoods. Vibe Babakula. Jenny. Shark and Dark, how's it going, everyone? Right, so I'm going to do a little talk about the test of life. How's it going, everyone? So it's been a few days since I've done a live, so we done a few lives last week with the Qigong breathwork masterclasses. So I had 4 sessions out of 5 done so far. I actually had some injections, I've had a slip disc issue, so I've been healing this, and to help with the pain relief I had some steroid injections in my spine on Monday, so I was in hospital on Monday, so I've taken a little bit of a break to recover, and I will be doing session 5, by the way, for the Qigong masterclass. So the breathwork Qigong, it was a breathwork masterclass, but then I brought Qigong into it on the 4th session, and the 5th session I'm going to do more Qigong, but I needed a bit more energy for it, so it's coming. But I wanted to just do a live today, see how's everyone doing. Indeed Soul, how's it going? Thank you very much for joining in. So the test of life, we all are going to get tested in life. So, you know, I often talk about yin and yang. There's this misconception sometimes when people think that they're on the right path, that things can't go wrong. My journey and most people's journeys teach you otherwise, right? Bad things do happen to good people. And I've spoken about this many times before. Like, it doesn't matter what you think is good and what you think is bad. Quite often, your perception of it changes over time. So something that we think is bad today, further down the line, we might understand. And hey, Abundance Alchemist, how's it going, my friend? Pete, how's it going? Thank you very much for joining in. Mula, how's it going? Elizot, thank you very much for joining in. Just talking about the test of life. So I've done a live the other day. It's actually pinned up on my profile. Pain is motivation. I've spoke a lot about my struggles in life. You know, nothing is always just like light and good. You know, sometimes we have this perception of people, especially online on social media, like people only show certain perspectives, like and it's often quite misleading. So I always like to bring up, yes, the positive, but also the negative too. And a lot of time we tend to focus so much on the positives, and it's almost like we're afraid to speak about the negative shit that does happen. And we shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't fear talking about the bad shit that happens, because the reality is good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. And this is just the way it is. This is the yin-yang nature of this duality. It's never going to change. It's always like that, right? So my 44 years so far in this dream world experience, I've often spoke about problems in my life, you know, problems that I've had to overcome. But one thing that I always share is that it doesn't matter what problem I have come against, no matter how big it seemed, how huge of an obstacle it seemed, I have always overcome them. And I guarantee you all have too. Like, there's 100% strike rate for overcoming problems. Like, you have all had problems, me included, and we shouldn't pretend like they don't exist. They do happen and they exist. Like, I've been speaking even since this page started, since June 2021. Yes, it has grown quite rapidly, and main thing is I'm consistent, but I'm always sharing stories and I'm always sharing what's going on in my life. What am I struggling with now? Because there's always something new, right? that I'm struggling with. So I always like to share how I deal with the struggles. Yes, like energy and mastering my energy and mastering my mindset. So I like to share the tools, but at the same time, I like to share the problems and not pretend that problems don't exist. So for example, you know, I had neuropathic pain all over my body like over 10 years ago. I didn't know what it was. I even thought it was cancer at some point because we couldn't figure out what it was. But that actually drove me, that pain, that motivated me to get really healthy, started to really look into getting, you know, fit and healthy, started to wake up to the fact that I need to really look after my body, right? Now, funny enough, when things started to get okay, I started to relax with that, and then I went out of shape, and I became overweight, and I was going through depression when I lost my brother, and then I had to overcome cocaine addiction as well, right? My brother was addicted to alcohol and cocaine, and we both had this struggle, this journey. And there's nothing about like this is during a time where I would consider myself, you know, financially free to some extent, right? So it's nothing to do with, I'm talking about nothing to do with money here, right? Money can, however, be a problem, and finances can be a problem, and I'll bring that up. But no matter what the problem is, it doesn't really matter. But we do struggle as human beings. We struggle with mentality, we struggle with our mindset, just handling emotions. We struggle with handling our thoughts. Like, sometimes our thoughts are out of control. So what I try to share is strategies. How do I deal with this? Like NLP stuff. There's there's many lives I've done, like to help you tackle these problems. But I share the problems too. And these are the tests of life. Like, as far as I can see, okay, whenever I feel like there's relief, there's always something. Like, it might be just something small as like me having a physical like problem, and then it might be like, you know, for example, last year I had a problem with I've been working at home a lot, so I haven't been moving around a lot, right? I've been working like mostly from home for the last 20 years, but that was purposeful because I wanted to build a business where I can work from wherever I want. And when I did have an office in London 2012 to 2014, and then I gave that up, and then I wanted to live more at home and stay more at home because I had a child. My son was born in 2011 and I was missing being around my child, and then my daughter was born. So, you know, I prefer to work and live at home, and most of the time I'm at home. But one of the things that I have to make sure I do is I have to stay active. Like I can't become a lazy bastard, which I had become, and I've been out of shape because I was sitting at home and I stopped exercising. And sometimes it takes like the problem to give you the wake up call again, right? So the little slap around the face. So, you know, sometimes you got to get out of shape to realize, wait a minute, you know, I'm out of shape. You got to get unhealthy, and then you got to sometimes develop a physical problem to wake yourself up to that. So it's the way it goes. Like a lot of these are signposts, things that we have to recognize so that we can do something about it, not complain about it. Because you can play victim. There's only ever two choices. There's victim or victor. There's only ever two choices. You either become the victim of the situation or you become the victor, meaning that you believe you can overcome it. And one thing that you always have to remember, and I have to keep remembering, is that no matter what problem it is, I always overcome it. Okay? It doesn't matter what problem it's going to be. Somehow I will overcome it. And that's the same with everyone else here. It doesn't matter what problems you've had. Any problem you can think of from the past, you have overcome it. There has been many problems that you've overcome. Now, there may still be problems here now, which you will also overcome. But in the illusion, Maya, this is how it messes with you. Because the Maya, the illusion, I always say the devil can only fuck with the illusion. The truth is beyond this, right? Beyond this. Like this is the world of duality. This is where you're always going to get dark and light. You're always going to get good and bad. Like you're never just going to have good, because you'll never know. There has to always be the opposite. Like the rewards from overcoming your pain and suffering. There is no reward if you overcome. If there is no pain and suffering to overcome. Like there has to be something to cause some kind of birth, some kind of renewal. Like there has to be something like birth. Even you, physically, we are physically born through pain. Like our mother has to go through pain. Like there is no way a baby is born without no real suffering or pain from the mother, right? So life comes through pain and rebirth. Like when we struggle in life, it's rebirth. Like every time we overcome a problem, and the bigger the problem, the greater we are reborn. The bigger the problem, the greater we are reborn. So life will always test you. Hey, Mr. Haz, how's it going? Hey, SpiriX, thank you very much for joining in. Starseed, much love. Thank you for joining in, guys. So we're just talking about the tests of life. So, you know, often talking about, yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have been feeling this recently. So I was sort of called to speak on this, actually, Mr. Haz. So thank you very much for sharing that. I've been feeling the same. And this is one of the things, like, especially when we're on a spiritual path, I don't know why or what, but whenever I'm on a spiritual path, this stuff happens, right? And it's not that, it's tests, the trials and tribulations, right? This is what causes us to grow. This is what causes us to grow. It's very easy to play the victim mindset, and I fall into that, because the initial reaction whenever something goes wrong is, oh fuck, not again, right? It takes a moment sometimes to break out of that mindset, but one of the things that I like to always get into understanding is like observing myself from a third person perspective. Like, what am I looking like right now? What am I reacting like right now? Right? And this is why meditation really helps. Meditation really helps. Prana, we're not talking about prana right now, but prana does help. It's life force energy, so life force energy. So all of that energy really helps. So that, you know, I need motivation, I need energy to overcome my problems. So one of the things that I've been struggling with recently is I had a slip disc, right? Well, actually, I don't know when it happened, but I noticed the slip disc when I was doing Krav Maga, a lot of groundwork. So I was falling on the floor, getting up, falling on the floor, getting up. I don't know if that aggravated it, but I was doing a lot of walking because I lost over 40 pounds last year from just walking every day. So one of the things that but however, it didn't stop me. I always have this thing, like, if you can, you can. Like, I've had a slip disc and a problem with my hip. I don't know, a lot of pain, right, basically. But the pain didn't stop me losing weight. The pain didn't stop me going to the gym. It actually motivated me because I knew something's wrong. And also, like, when over 10 years ago, I had neuropathic pain all over my body and I didn't know what it was. Okay, and we still don't figure out what it was. I started Qigong and really started to meditate consistently. And my Qigong, moving meditation, that was when I really got into Qigong and doing it every day. And I realized the power of it because that Qigong, doing it every day, was what cured my neuropathic pain. When doctors tried all sorts of pills over 3 years and nothing worked. So that's why I'm so big on healing myself with breath work, meditation, energy, because it does work. Because if you want to feel alive and you want to heal, you got to get around nature. Firstly, nature heals. Nature heals. Just walking on the grass, nothing massive, like just go in the garden, walk on the grass, or just put your hands on a tree. That really makes a massive difference because we are electrical, energetic beings, and grounding and earthing is very important as well. So grounding, earthing, so all these rituals help, but it's not to say the problems don't arise, right? Problems do arise. Like I've had to deal with this issue with my slip disc, but it's not stopped me. It's not prevented me from going to the gym, working out, and getting in better shape. Whereas I could have played the victim and said, "Oh, I can't work out because I've got a problem with my back," which would be an excuse, right? Mr. Has has got a great song called album, actually, an EP called No Excuses. Some great motivational tracks, and Mr. Has has joined us here today. He's actually been in one of my lives, and I've been in some of his lives, and got some very inspirational tracks. And one of the songs actually is on my list here, Keep On Moving, right? And it's actually about, it really inspires me. I listen to that song all the time. So whenever I feel like I get knocked down, so I just put a song on earlier today as well, just now, called Come Back by Vo Williams as well, right? Whenever you try to knock me down, I come back. So these kind of songs are motivational. You know, I shared the MX6 strategy on my last live, which is pain is motivation. I've actually pinned it up on my profile. And the 6 M's, I use these 6 M's to overcome depression and overcome addiction myself. So what I did is 6 M's, really, really simple. Morning, right? Always get your morning right. Like, get your head clear. Clarity is so important. Like, when you just don't have shit written down, it's just all over the place. So one of the things I like to do first thing in the morning is write down whatever's on my mind. What is the biggest problem that's really bothering me right now, I write it down first thing in the morning. As soon as I wake up, what comes to my mind, I write it down. And then I go for a walk. Okay, I go for a walking meditation in nature. I happen to live right in the countryside, so I just walk out and the countryside is there. But what that does, it connects me with God, connects me with nature, connects me with life, because I want to feel alive. So I'll connect myself with what's alive, right? Trees, grass, flowers. So first thing in the morning, to be around that and the birds waking up and tweeting, it brings me into a state of mind of it's a moving meditation for me. Like I personally like dynamic meditation. That's why I do moving meditation with my hands. Not that I don't sit down and relax and meditate. I do relaxing meditation, but when something's on my mind, it's not the best thing. Like when there's nothing on my mind and there's nothing really as a problem that I need to deal with, there isn't a problem or problems that I really need to deal with, I will relax and just let go and meditate. Okay, sometimes you just sit with your problems and meditate too. It depends on the level of the problem. But me, as someone that's been in depression, I know that sitting down meditation didn't really help me then. So I'm reluctant to just go straight to sitting down meditation. I like to get moving. Like, movement is meditation. Movement is medicine, and movement is meditation. Just simply going for a walk does wonders. So first thing in the morning, like, to get your mind right, just go for a walk. And what I will do is then listen to something motivational, which is the second M. So that might be something like Mr. Haz's tracks, right? Or some of the motivational tracks from Music Prodigy that I share, or Fearless Motivation, or Muscle Prodigy. So these are some of the motivational tracks that I've shared loads on here, and just go onto Spotify or YouTube, just search motivational speech, motivational music, motivational soundtracks. Create your own playlist and listen to them, because those words will replace your negative thoughts. So those words will feed new positive energy and thoughts and inspiration into your mind, and it'll get rid of the nonsense, right? So sometimes it's better just to feed your mind with more positive, motivational, inspirational words, and that will change your state of mind first thing in the morning. Okay, the next M is, for me, is movement, right? So moving, make sure you're moving. Okay, for me, walking in nature is a moving meditation. So meditation is the next one. But throughout the day, I try to practice these 6 M's, right? The first one's morning, second one motivation, next one movement, next one music, next one meditation, the other one mindset. So there's 6 M's I try to attack every day. 6 M's. Okay, so if you didn't catch the last live, it's pinned up on my profile right now. It's called Pain is Motivation. It talks about that in detail. I've actually covered the MX6 program a number of times on past lives as well. But the main thing is morning. Get your morning right. Because what is life? Life is just days. Days upon days. So if you get your morning right, you're much more likely to get your day right. And because you get your day right, you're going to start getting your life right. It doesn't matter what problems come your way, as long as you stay on top of your mindset, as long as you don't give up. Because when you play victim, you might not want to get up. That's when depression kicks in. You just sit with your problems or lay in bed with your problems. That doesn't help you, anyone else. It doesn't help your loved ones, and it won't help you. I've been there. It doesn't help anything. It's just wasting time. So at some point, when you spend long enough in victim mode, you will wake up, because you can't stay there forever. Victim mode is basically going into your shell and making yourself, you're self-sabotaging yourself. Everyone does it. I've done it. Everyone does it. You lay in bed and you pretend you can't do anything about your problems, when really the truth is you can. And it's just a matter of getting motivated, getting focused, and getting clear again. Because when you get knocked down, it's easy to develop doubt. It's easy to develop limiting beliefs. And it's the fear, the doubt, and the limiting beliefs that hold us back all the time. And I've said it before, you will always constantly have some level of anxiety, fear, and doubt. You can't eliminate them, because they are emotions, and they are true emotions. You can't pretend like I will be anxiety free, doubt free, or fearless completely. As long as you're alive, there will be some level of fear, some level of doubt, some level of limiting beliefs. We just reduce them. So one of my practices every morning is to measure my level of doubt, fear, and anxiety. I grade myself out of 100%. And then I also grade myself out of 100% in my level of belief, confidence, and energy. And what I do, rather than try to reduce doubt, fear, and anxiety, which is very difficult to do, what I do is I work on building more belief, confidence, and energy, because that I can control. And when I build more belief, confidence, and energy, doubt, fear, and anxiety has to go down. It can't stay up. When belief, confidence, and energy goes up, doubt, fear, and anxiety has to go down. It's just the way it works. But we got to remember that we are in control. When we play the victor, we take control. When we play the victim, we give in. Victim is like, because shit's going to happen. I'm tested all the time in my business, trading. I lose money, right? I've lost thousands of pounds in days, right? Right. I have tough times in business. I have tough times in everything that I do, right? life in general is tough. So let's not beat around the bush and pretend it's not. Life is tough. So we can be positive minded, and that's important. And we've got to get motivated, we've got to get inspired. But as I often say, the devil only fucks with the illusion. Everything out there is where the problems are going to be, right? But those problems out there cause problems internally. And that's the issue. So what we then do is we work internally so that we can change. It's an inside out approach. We work on ourselves. How are we inside? And then what's out there starts to change to reflect that. But what happens is, whenever we let our guard down, it's just like a fight, right? I'm a martial artist. I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old. I did karate when I was 7, boxing when I was 11, Wing Chun Kung Fu at 14, been in Krav Maga and mixed martial arts the last 2 years. I had to stop because my injuries, but hey, look, that's another thing, right? I love martial arts. I injured my thumb, right? I injured my thumb. I had to stop hard martial arts, and I've been a martial artist my whole life. I could cry about that and say, fuck. I'm not a professional though. I'm not a professional martial artist. So what do? I can cry about the fact that I can't do hard martial arts anymore because of my thumb, because I've injured it too many times. It's not non-repairable. So I'm going to have a second opinion on that. But it's another problem I had to come across. But what do? Cry about it? I said, no, I just won't do the hard martial arts. I'll keep doing the soft martial arts. I'll keep doing Wing Chun Kung Fu at home, and I'll keep doing Qigong and Tai Chi. And I do my commotion Qigong, right? So I continue to do soft martial arts because they are non-impact. So I'm not stopping martial arts because of an injury. I'm not stopping going to the gym or going for a walk because of a slipped disc. Because the fact is, I'm still alive and my arms are still moving and my legs are still moving. My dad was paralyzed from the waist down from the age of 26 because he had motor neuron disease. The same disease as Stephen Hawking's, right? So I appreciate the fact that I can still move my arms and legs. It might not be to the point I could a few years ago when I was more agile. I still can fucking move. So I'm still going to keep moving until the day I die. Right? Because I can talk. My dad lost the ability to speak. This is why I cherish my words. I don't speak a lot I don't have a lot of conversations in life because I'm a teacher. That's what I do. That's what my job is. Most of the time I'm teaching. Right? I'm a trader, but most of the time I'm coaching and training and teaching people. That's my job. So I save my energy and a lot of my voice for talking to people and teaching people like this. Right? But my energy is used in a good way. Because it helps not only me, it helps others. Because when I talk, I watch my own videos back because I don't know what I'm going to say half the time. And they inspire me. They motivate me as well. They inspire other people. So it's a win-win situation. Right? But these are true life experiences. And it's the best way to learn. Like, learn from real life. Like, your life is going to be your best teacher. Your best guru is you. Your best teaching opportunities are what you're going to come up against in life. The obstacles are your best teachers. You've got to remember that the obstacles are opportunities to grow. We have to reframe. In neuro-linguistic programming, I'm a certified NLP practitioner since 2006, master practitioner since 2006, practitioner since 2005, right? As many of you guys know. But one of the things in NLP that we use is context reframing. So reframe the context. Like, everything is not the way it is. It's not just the way it is. It's a matter of perception is projection. Meaning we actually project what we believe about the reality. Like, someone can see a problem as a problem and become a victim. Someone else can see the same problem, or actually even the same person at another time can see the same problem. Like, I can see a problem. Initially, I can see a problem and turn into victim mode. But when I really review it and understand it, because that's what I do, I understand situations because I have to understand my reality and my reactions to the reality. Like, nobody else is going to do that for you. I mean, a therapist helps, right? But you need to be your own therapist. Like, I have to be my own therapist because I have had therapists and I have had coaches, and I believe in having therapists and coaches. But I also have to be my own therapist. I can do therapy for others and coach other people, but I have to also coach myself. So I have to analyze my own thoughts. I have to analyze my own feelings. I have to do an analysis of myself every day. Like, what's bothering me? Why is this feeling there? So pain can be mental, physical, emotional, right? It can be mental, physical, and emotional. It can be in your head, just constant thoughts. That's pain, right? Pain, like uncontrollable thoughts, is a form of pain. And they create uncontrollable emotions, which is a form of pain. So there is emotional pain, there's physical pain as well. But it's all very much linked. Like mental, the more we tend to help ourselves mentally and emotionally, it helps us physically. And as we help ourselves physically, it helps us emotionally and mentally. So it's all linked, mind, body, spirit. So you can't work on one without affecting the other. Like if you work on your body, like your physical health, without a doubt, it's going to affect your mindset and it's going to affect you spiritually. Because your spiritual growth actually happens as a result of mental and physical growth. Right? So, because your soul, spirit, is projected into a physical reality. So the way your soul grows in this reality is mentally and physically. So as you grow mentally, physically, you grow spiritually. Yes, there is things like detachment. Yes, we have to learn to detach. You know, Buddha said the root of all suffering is detachment. But this is the yin-yang aspect of everything. This is the yin-yang aspect of everything. People get a little bit lost because they detach because it's all illusion, And then they get so detached from reality that they forget to live life. And this is why I always try to bring it back and say, no, look, we need to do both. We need to detach to understand that when there is suffering, when there is pain, it doesn't need to affect us as much. But we need to understand we're in this illusion to play a game. Like this is our playground. But it is a game. Like in a game, you're going to have obstacles. If you're playing a computer game, you're not just going to start running. Let's say you're playing with a character, right? In a computer game. In a computer game, you're not just going to control the character and just get to the end of the game and without any obstacles. There's going to be fucking obstacles and levels to complete. Life is no different. There's levels to this shit. When you complete one level, there's another level. When you complete that level, there's another level. I've been on this journey a long time. Like spiritual development, physical development, mental development, building businesses, right? Just developing myself in general. But there's always another level. Right? There's always another level to go to. So, whenever you progress, you don't just get there and that's it. Forever, as far as I'm concerned, until the day I die, this is the way it is. There's always going to be a new opportunity to grow, which one can label as a problem. But as I said, it's context reframing. You can see it as a problem, but then as soon as you see something as a problem, you need to get into the habit of understanding this is my opportunity to grow. Because problems only occur as obstacles for you to get over. And you do get over problems. All of us do. I have. Okay? You have. All of us. We all get over our problems. We all get over our obstacles. Sometimes they can seem very, very far-fetched. Sometimes it can seem like, how the fuck am I going to get out of this? But this is where the faith has to come into it. Doesn't matter whether it's whatever you believe in. Higher power, whether your higher self or God, Jesus, right? Waheguru, whatever high up you need, this is where you need faith. Right? Now, I believe in a number of different religions and teachings, right? I respect all faiths. I respect Jesus massively. I respect all the teachings. I respect Buddha and the teachings. I respect Lao Tzu, okay, and the Taoist concepts. I respect Guru Nanak and the Guru Granth Sahib and the 10 Gurus and what they taught because I'm born into Sikhism. But one of the main things that all spirituality teaches is selfless service. And that's what this is about. This is the biggest spiritual practice you can provide. The most important spiritual practice for your own development spiritually really is to not only go through pain and suffering yourself, but also learn how to get through it, but then help others. So that is a way, like, you don't have to give people or anything else. You can just give people experiences and how you deal with them. Like, that is a form of unconditional love. That's my way anyway. But people have their own way of practicing selfless service, like feeding the poor or whatever, right? But whatever you can do to help other people, do it. Like, when I help myself and I figure out how to help myself, if it works, why shouldn't I share it? It's very selfish of me not to share it, right? So that is not going to help me grow spiritually. If I have figured out, like, if I know something helped me get out of depression and addiction, and my brother died from depression and addiction, I couldn't help him. It's very selfish of me knowing that I helped myself and I couldn't help him not to help others. And this is why I started this whole page and what I do, right? So I help others because I know it can save lives. It's that simple. It's a matter of life and death for many. It's that important. Like, that's why, for me, like, if I've got spare time to do this, I'm going to do it. Because it's saving lives. I know I've already helped so many people around this world. But I'm helping myself and helping other people. So why not? So the trials and tribulations are going to be there. The trials and tribulations are going to be there. These are our tests. This is what we need to learn from and we need to grow from. All the teachers that have been here and given profound messages and left messages, right? Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Lao Tzu, right? Many teachers, also Sadhguru, like these are people that I respect and I learn from, right? But the ultimate teacher, Guru, the ultimate God, right? Whatever you call it, the ultimate, the Almighty. There is something in control of everything. The yin and the yang, the good and the bad. It's in control of everything. So sometimes we do not understand what we label as bad. Like I've said this many times, different perspectives. Like when I was younger, when my dad died when I was 7 years old, I used to think of it as a bad thing. Like, why did it happen to me? I played victim for so long. But I learned to no longer play victim, and I used that pain to motivate me, to help my mother, and help me, and help my family, to build my family. Right? When I lost my brother, that pain, that really hit me hard. The depression, the addiction that I had to go through, and then overcome it. During that time, I didn't see a way out. But I did find a way out. How did I find that way out? It's through the love of God. Through believing in the higher power, believing in something greater than me. Because there is something out there that does help you. And you've got to have faith in it. You've got to have belief in it. Sometimes I believe the problems are there to make you do that. To give you that slap around the face. Like, you're more than this. Use your faith. Develop some self-belief. Get off your ass and do something about it. And it's when I do, that's when God speaks to me more. God starts to guide me more. But when I sit there and do nothing, there's no guidance. There's no guidance for a lazy motherfucker. The God wants to see that you're willing to do something about it. That you are actually appreciating life and the gift. Because it's very easy to play victim. Very easy to play victim. Very easy to play victim mode and self-sabotage and beat yourself up and think the world is against you. That is the pussy mentality. That is a weak mindset. So this is why those opportunities are to grow, because your mindset is weak if that's the way it is. It needs to be stronger. And this is what happens with me. My mind gets stronger. I get stronger every time I'm tested and I overcome something. And you will all. You also have been. You all have had problems that you have overcome. And you become a better person because of it. A better, stronger person. Mentally, spiritually. You're growing because of problems. Because of struggles. So see them as blessings in disguise. Okay, now I understand even things like my brother passing away and my dad passing away, things I labeled as bad, they actually have helped me. There's been benefits to that as well, to that side of the story. Like there's been benefits to my neuropathic pain that I had over 10 years ago and didn't know what was causing it for like 3 years. The switch, because I probably wouldn't have made a lot of changes that I have made if it wasn't for that. So every time anything comes up, like I always say, like, keep your guard up. Like, always expect the unexpected. And understand that you've got two kinds of worries. Like, people worry a lot. There's practical worries and there's impractical worries. Practical worries are things that you genuinely should be worried about. But most of our unconscious mind or our thoughts are worries that we shouldn't even be worrying about. And if you're not sure, just ask yourself, is it 100% true? Is it 100% right for me to be worrying about this right now? And write it down. And you could do the same thing with beliefs, like limiting beliefs. Like if you hold a limiting belief about yourself, ask yourself, is this 100% true? Because most of the time it's not. And it's actually based upon the work by Byron Katie, The Work by Byron Katie. There's actually an app. And you can ask yourself some questions and it gives you, it's a really cool app. Download it. It's called The Work by Byron Katie. BYRONKATIE. And the main question for limiting beliefs or doubts that you ask yourself is it true? And if you answer yes to that, ask yourself again, is it 100% true? Can you be 100% sure that it's true? Because sometimes you say yes, and then when you ask the second question, you realize, wait a minute, it's not 100% true. Because you could be worried about something happening in the future, but there's not really a chance it's going to happen. Let's say, for example, right? There could be something that's going to happen in the future that you have a worry. Hey, mother, daughter. Mama, how's it going? Greetings. So you have a worry that something might happen in the future that probably won't even happen. But because fear is stronger than love, for example, for many people, and it shouldn't be, right? Like our love for God should be stronger than the fear. So our love and faith should be stronger. So our love and faith should say, no, my love and faith is stronger than that fear. But because quite often our fear feels stronger, and as I said earlier today, your doubt, fear and anxiety will be there, and generally it's going to be higher if you do not build your belief, confidence and energy up. So energy is massive. Like, this is why I say get moving, because as soon as you get energy, like you get moving, you get exercising or just go for a walk, your mindset changes. Your blood is rushing through your veins faster, your heartbeat is changed, your heart is changing, heart coherence changes. Like heart consciousness, heart coherence, right? You can measure your heart coherence with biofeedback devices. I have one from EM Wave, from Heart Math Institute, right? So they measure brainwave frequencies. So heart coherence, okay? So we can measure brainwaves, yes, but heart coherence, we can also measure that as well with devices, right? So I've trained a lot with heart coherence, but one of the things that I found is that when I'm moving, when I'm actually doing something, my heart coherence, because I've used the biofeedback device and seen the facts, is fine. It's when I'm sitting down and I'm not doing a lot, I get more anxious, I get more nervous. Problems become bigger than they really are. So this is why I say movement is medicine. Like, people need to move. Like, it really makes a massive difference. Like, sitting down meditation becomes a lot more powerful if you do a combination of movement, something moving, like just going for a walk. Going for a walk at least every day. Like, when I go for a walk and then meditate, my meditation is a lot more better because my mind is more quiet already. So it primes you for meditation, movement. Like, if you go to the gym first, workout, and then go into a nice relaxing meditation, I guarantee it's going to be much more powerful, and you're going to be much more relaxed, and you're going to have a much more quieter mind. Because you've released a lot of bullshit already. You've released a lot of bullshit, right? So you've got, hi man, how's it going, Hattie? Much love, thank you very much for joining in. Hey Lee Tower, there's a few people joined us later on here today. Thank you very much. Much love, much love. So I've been talking quite a bit here today, test of life, and talking about problems and how to overcome problems, and they're very, very normal. Like some problems are small, some problems are big. We all have a choice, victim or victor. We can play the victim, okay, and many of us do. Okay, I'll put my hands up. I played victim many times, and I still go into that mode. Initially, the initial response when a problem comes up is, I'm the victim. What we need to remind ourselves of is that we are not the victim. It's not happening to us. It's something that's happened out there that we are needing to deal with. It's not happening to us. It's happening out there in the illusion. You are not a part of the illusion, your higher self. Your higher self is here dreaming this illusion. So we need to remember that we are in the illusion, but we can disassociate from it. So this really helps me when things get too much. I can understand it's all fucking false. It's all Maya. It's all illusion. But I know I need to play the game. I know I'm here and I need to achieve and I need to do stuff. I need to grow because we are fruits or flowers. We are living things, just like a fruit and a flower. And a fruit or a flower, once it's alive, it either dies or it can grow. So we have to grow because otherwise we're just alive and we're simply dying because there's an expiration date. So we're alive, but there's a massive difference between being alive and actually living. So to truly live, we have to take control. This is why energy is so important. Like, I'm actually doing a 2-day event in a few weeks' time, which I'll be sharing some information on, if anyone's interested, on mastering energy. Okay, with breath work, qigong, movement, fasting, nutrition, everything that I've worked on that's really, really helped me. But again, it doesn't make you immune. You know, we get in flow with the natural way of the universe, the Tao, right? There's a natural flow to the universe. But even the natural flow of the universe, nature, there's things that we label as good and bad, right? We label like people dying as bad, but really it's something that's guaranteed for everyone. So how can we label something like that's guaranteed for everyone really as bad? We shouldn't. It's the passing over. It's the end. It's an expiration, but life doesn't end. Mentally and spiritually, we're immortal. Meaning we have an internal mind, an internal soul. A mind, a non-local mind. Yes, there's a brain here, but this is the consciousness receiver. There's a mind that's not even a part of this body. This is how out-of-body experiences are possible. This is how you can control your macabre and astral travel outside of your body. Right? This is why these things are all possible. Because there is a mind non-local to the body. So always have that reassurance that you are immortal in that sense. Mind and spirit wise. Physically, yes. Just like the mobile phone will break. But the signal, the 5G, 4G signal that it's receiving is still going to stay there. This phone, I can break it on the floor now. It's broken. That's the body dead. Just like me breaking this body. But the consciousness can be picked up by another mobile phone. Just like my consciousness can be picked up by another vehicle. But whilst we're here in this vehicle, we need to treat this vehicle right. We need to make sure that we're on top of nutrition, diet, health, because that affects us mentally and spiritually, right? So this is why I gave up smoking cigarettes. I gave up alcohol because it killed my brother. But also because I realized how fucking dangerous it is, right? I gave up cocaine. I gave up all drugs, ecstasy, right? Smoking marijuana, everything, right? Because I understand you don't need it. The only thing we need is energy, breath and energy. Breath is what keeps me alive. I need that. So that's why everything about energy for me is breath work and movement. Breath and movement. Breath and movement. It's all energy. As long as we keep staying in control of our level of energy and keep bringing ourselves into victor mode and bringing ourselves out of victim mode, we will always win. We will always keep winning. This is how we keep overcoming problems. And remember, all of you, including me, has 100% strike rate in defeating problems. We all defeat our problems every single fucking time. The illusion is that you don't. The fear makes you believe that you don't. The doubt makes you believe that you don't. These are all limitations. The limitations have got to go. The limitations very easily can come in because they are mental constructs based upon past experiences, doubts and beliefs that we've been fed from external sources. So you've got to be very careful with what you're bringing in. I avoid yes, I'm on social media, but I produce content. I don't take content in. I take a little bit of content in from the people that I respect and like, but I don't watch a lot of content because most of it is designed to create fear, doubt, and disbelief in yourself. Like even a lot of the conspiracy theories, most of them are nonsense. Because you got to ask yourself, is it making me doubt myself or doubt something about my reality? Because if it's creating doubt, if it's creating fear, it's bullshit. Anything that creates doubt, fear, bullshit, anything that creates doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs in you is bullshit. It's nonsense. It's designed to limit you. We just need to keep recognizing that, because when you fall into the trap and you start taking it personally and you do actually allow for it to limit you and the doubts kick in and then it holds you back, then you've gone back into that victim mode, right? And I keep saying there's only two choices, victim or victor. It's very easy to play victim in this world because the odds are stacked against you in that sense because of the misinformation out there. There's too much nonsense being peddled in your face all the time, which creates doubt, fear, anxiety. So try to stay away from it as much as possible. Only take in positive, inspirational information. Yes, learn. I'm always talking about the negative experiences and then turning it into a positive. Because we need to understand it's there, but we also need to understand how to deal with it and understand how do we master this in this reality? Because it's about mastering these tests, these tribulations. They're gonna come. So you gotta keep your guard up, right? As a martial artist, you gotta keep your guard up. Like you let your guard down. That's when, don't know what you want to call it, right? Negativity, the devil, whatever you want to call it. It's all gonna happen out here in the illusion. It's all gonna happen out there. The devil can only fuck with the illusion. Can't fuck with the truth. Right? So you've got to understand the truth is love. The truth is God. The truth is everything is one. This is where the nonsense plays out. But at the same time, it's a game that we should also be able to bring things into our favor as well. Like we can, in the illusion, like this is why I say live the dream. Like live it like it's a dream that you're in control of. There will be many things that make you feel like you're not in control. Things do happen that are out of our control, don't get me wrong, right? Hurricanes, there's going to be natural disasters and shit, right? There's stuff that's not in our control. There's a world out there, there's a lot going on which we can't control. I often say, don't worry about that world, worry about your own world. What's in your world that you can focus on? What's in your world that you can control? Don't worry about what you can't control because that's a waste of energy. Only focus on what you can control. Focus on your world. What is in your world? What matters to you? Like your loved ones, your kids, my wife, my kids, my mum, right? The most important thing to me is family, okay? And friends. Right? Friends, family, immediate friends and family. Very important, right? Relationships are important. But yourself, like don't forget about yourself. Like self-love, like you can only love your friends and your family and other people. Like I can't help people like this if I'm not helping myself. You have to help yourself first. You have to love yourself. Like, self-love is so important before you can love anyone else. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself. You have to have self-love. You have to love yourself enough so that you can give from yourself to love others. Like, if there's no love in your heart for yourself, where is it going to come from? You got to have love for yourself first. You got to have love for God. God is love in abundance, so that is never going to run out. So don't ever be afraid of giving love away. Don't ever be afraid of selfless service. Like, this is selfless service, because that energy is available in abundance. It's never running out. Time runs out, yeah, but the energy, like God's love and the love that you can express to others, is never running out. That's eternal. That's how we know that's eternal. The problems, we know, are a part of the illusion, because the devil can only fuck with the illusion. This is why the problems never stay. Problems always go away. We have 100% strike rate in beating problems. Every problem you and I have had, we have overcome them. We have all had many problems that we have overcome. Even problems, if you think back, how many problems have you had that you thought, at that time, how am I going to overcome this? And now look back and realize that you have overcome it. Just see any new problem that comes your way in the same light. Because it is exactly the same thing. It's just it's been disguised in another way. Because it's just another problem. They just come again in different disguises. Sometimes what seems bigger and smaller, but perception is a projection. We label it as good, we label it as bad, we label it as a big problem, we label it as a small problem. You know, quite often we think something's a massive problem, and I sometimes think this is a big problem. And I talk to my wife and she makes me realize in 5 minutes, wait a minute, it's not a big problem. You know, the perception is a projection. Because what I mean is, what we perceive is a projection of what we believe. It's beliefs. Everything is belief. Everything is belief. Like, when you believe that everything's against you, it's a belief. You live that. That becomes a reality. When you believe, no, wait a minute, I'm playing victim and I know I'm the victor and I can overcome this just like any other problem, you then take control again. But this is why motivation, inspiration is so important to me. This is why quite a lot of the time I'm high energy, motivational and inspirational. Because I know that's what I needed when I needed to get through problems. I try to provide what I know helps me. So for some people it's like too high energy, it's like too inspirational, motivational. But it's not for everyone. Like, some people just want to be like, let go, meditate. I'm fine, I do those sessions, right? Relaxing meditations, breathwork meditations. But I'm all about keeping it real. Like, we have to keep it real. We can't bullshit ourselves and pretend like we can just meditate and problems go away. That's fucking nonsense. That's bullshit. Doesn't matter what practice you do. Doesn't matter what practice you do. Things will come your way that you need to deal with. You will just be better equipped to deal with them. Right? As in one of my favorite books, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Victorious warriors win first and then go to battle. Defeated warriors go to battle and then look to win. So what we do when we prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, when we prepare our mindset, when we keep doing the work, we keep doing the meditation, like if you stay on top of the 6 M's I spoke about, get up early in the morning, do some journaling in the morning, go for a walk, right? Listen to something motivational, right? Movement, so you're moving, okay, the 3rd M. So morning, motivation, movement, meditation, music. So music for me heals my soul. I listen to music. A lot of the time I put music on. If I just have a dance, it doesn't matter how much doubt, fear and anxiety I have based upon any situation. If I put music on and I get my vibe on and I start having a little dance, doubt, fear and anxiety just runs out the fucking window. Doubt, fear and anxiety does not like music and dance. Right? I don't know why, but it fucking hates it. It runs away. So I love to put music on. I love to have a little dance. I like to do my qigong because that's moving meditation for me. But it energizes me. It motivates me. It helps me get belief, confidence and energy, which I said, those 3 things, as long as you keep building those 3 things up every day, gaining more self-belief, more confidence, more energy, doubt, fear, and anxiety drops off. Doubt, fear, and anxiety has to go down when your energy level goes up and your level of belief and confidence goes up, right? So something simple like going for a walk, simple as going for a walk in the first thing in the morning, can break your state. Like for me to get out of depression, that was it. Like just getting up and walking first thing in the morning just changed my state of mind. I was no longer in victim mode, wanting to stay in bed. When you're in victim mode, the hardest thing is to try to get up. Like when you're in victim mode, the main symptom of depression for most people is not wanting to live, not wanting to wake up, spending a lot of time in bed, oversleeping. That's a sign of depression. Like if you're not wanting to live life, there's something wrong, right? And it's not good to pretend that something's not. Okay, yes, sometimes we need to wallow in our self-pity. I've done it. Okay, sometimes, for weeks or months on end, you just got to wallow in your self-pity and just feel depressed and sad. But at some point, you will get bored with it. It's either going to happen sooner or it's going to happen later. That's all it is. So anytime that happens to me, like I suffer from emotionally unstable personality disorder, right? So but I used to be on pills, right? The doctors gave me antidepressants, olanzapine, right? So because I was diagnosed after I went into depression after my brother died, right? Before that, I had no diagnosis. I only received the diagnosis like 3 years ago. But the drugs ruined me. I put on nearly 3 stones of weight. I lost all my creativity, all my motivation. I realized what was happening and I stopped them, and it was like I just came back to life. So I'm not advising anyone to stop taking their meds or anything, because if you do, you need to replace it with something. So I didn't just stop taking meds. I stopped taking meds. I've replaced it with walking meditation. I've replaced it with breath work. I've replaced it with qigong. I replaced it with making sure I'm meditating every day. But the great thing about a mental disorder is, you have to do something about it. So for me, it's a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise to be diagnosed with a mental disorder. Because I have to do something about it. So it's always a blessing. All a blessing. All the problems are blessings. You just don't see them as blessings until you overcome them. So just recognize you're going to overcome it. Whatever it is. Whatever the problems are. I thought I'd bring this up because I know so many people have been having these messages. I've had a few messages coming back and forth from my emails and DMs. I don't know if it's just the energies in general people have been fucked with recently. I mean, me personally, there's always something going on, right? But in my life, there's always something. There's always something that's coming up, right? It could be business, it could be financial issues, it could be physical health. There's always something like ready to test. And it's not that I'm expecting it, I'm just ready for it. And this is what I'm saying, like, you just have to be ready. Like, don't get surprised when shit goes wrong. Because then you get angry. Because if you don't just accept it, that's just the way life is. That's just how things go. You'll always be getting angry and playing victim mode. Whereas if you understand, wait a minute, like for example, like in trading, the trading business, I know I can have a bad day or a good day, any day. I can lose money or make money. In business, that's how it goes. You don't make money every day. But I know I have to be the one that's in control. I'm the one that's going to make the mistakes if I make mistakes. Yes, there are times where the market does stuff that I can't control. Right, the stock market. Just like in life, there's going to be shit life does to me that I can't control. There's going to be stuff that happens. Right? Could be anything. Like, I mean, the last year, you know, if something's not been wrong with me physically, it's been something wrong with my wife. Something not wrong with my wife, something wrong with my son. Something not wrong with my son, something with my daughter. Someone's always been ill or something going on, right? I don't generally get ill that often, but we had a period like in the earlier part of this year where it's like, someone's just like, it just wasn't a time where there wasn't something going on, right? That's just life. Like, so I want to bring that up because I want people to realize that it's not all hunky-dory all the time. That's a false, pretentious way to see things. It's not the way it is. The reality is that we are in a world of duality. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. It's just the way it is. And good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. It's just the way it is. And a lot of the time we do not see the bigger picture. We do not see the greater plan, the bigger picture, God's plan at play. We don't understand it quite often, sometimes a few months down the line, a few years down the line, as I've often found. Sometimes things to me that happened 20 years ago now make sense to me now, 20 years later. You know, things that happened 3 years ago that I really couldn't comprehend and understand and put my head around. Why the fuck that happened? Now I understand, oh, that made sense. It had to happen. Right, so this is just the ebb and flow of life, man. Thank you very much for joining in. Yeah, love dancing so much. Yeah, I mean, dancing is just, you know, put music on. Like, anytime you feel shit, simple things like people, like, you don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. Like, just get moving, just go for a walk. You feel really shit, you feel really down, just get up and go for a walk alone. Put some headphones on, put some music on. If you're around nature, just listen to nature. But I have this thing, like, headphones on, world off. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on in this world out here. If it's too much for you, just put your headphones on, listen to some music. If you feel shit, listen to some music that's going to make you feel good. Like, don't listen to some sad love songs. It probably make you feel worse, right? But if you want to feel good, like, I feel, sometimes I just want to get motivated. Like, something will aggravate me. Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, people get angry, okay? I personally am not really an angry person. But my brother was a very angry person. I don't know what happened after he died, but I got anger, more anger from somewhere than I never had before. So I had to learn how to harness it. I thought, what's going on here? It's like almost like my brother's spirit and his anger just came into me. I have to live with it now. So, but I learned to harness it. So in my book, Live the Dream, A Guide to Enlightenment and Freedom from the Matrix, the link is in the bio if anybody hasn't got it. In my book, there's a phrase that I say, like, pain is my motivation, the anger is my fire, right? Anger is my fire, the fire in my belly. So whenever I get angry, or I have to harness it, I have to use it in a positive way. So there's nothing, this energy, like anger is energy. It's a very powerful energy. As long as you use it properly. Like, as martial artists, we have to learn in Qigong, because Qigong is all about harnessing energy, yin yang. And anger is a yang energy. Yin is the passive. So I'm always constantly going into passive and then yin, which is divine feminine, and then yang, divine masculine. This is life. That's always like that. Yes, the ebb and flow. So I'm always going into passive, yin. You know, to understand stuff, to take things in, absorb it. But that allows, when you're in yin mode, the anger doesn't just come out, like it doesn't just blast out, because it's very easy to, in martial arts, for example, when you get attacked, it's very easy to get angry and try to force attacks. Okay, one of the things that we have to learn to do in martial arts is stay composed, because otherwise you lose focus, you lose concentration, you lose, if you get angry, it's over. So what we have to do is keep anger. There's nothing wrong with anger. We have to harness the energy behind the anger and make sure we use the fire that anger brings, and then make sure we redirect it. So it's all about transmuting, right? Alchemy. So Qigong is about alchemy. It's about transmuting energy, negative into positive. So, like, when we have doubt, fear, and anxiety, like I said, you're going to have it. But you use belief, confidence, and energy to overshadow that. So there becomes a greater force. So there's always both there. You're just transmuting. You're transmuting the doubt, the fear, and the anxiety becomes your belief, confidence, and energy, because you highlight it's there, you understand it's there, and you understand the way to deal with it is more belief, confidence, and energy. So you bring the energy in to dilute and transmute anxiety, fear, and doubt. So that's how Qigong, my breathwork, Qigong, or practices to do this, right? So these are practical techniques which you can actually do. It's not just nonsense. Like, it's not like reading a book where it's just words. These are practical problems and practical techniques. That's what it's all about on my page. Practical problems and practical solutions. Like, if it isn't something, if there isn't a problem and a solution, then it's pointless. There has to be problems, there has to be solutions. Like, we don't just have solutions. Like, what are the solutions for? The solutions are there to deal with the problems. Right? So, when I have anger, I have to harness it. I have to sit with it. And I have to make sure that I process it, then use it in the right way. I don't waste that energy or pretend it's not there, because repressing or pretending it's not there is the worst thing you can do. So you have to use it. Like your pain, you can't just sit with it. You got to use it to motivate yourself. Your pain is your motivation, like my last video. The anger, that's the fire in your belly. That's the energy you use. Something that frustrates you, that's the energy that you use. Frustration needs to be turned into a positive energy. Anger needs to be turned into a positive energy. Everything can be transmuted into a positive energy. Every form, because it's all energy. We're just labeling it. Doubt, fear, and anxiety is just energy. But because everything is just energy, we can transmute it. Like victim or victor, it's just a mindset. It's literally just a switch. You choose, am I playing victim or victor? And you always have the choice. But the easiest thing to do is to play victim, because you don't have to do anything. You just have to sit there and allow it to be the way it is. That's the lazy way. And the lazy way is the most accepted way. That's why for most people nothing happens. Because the laziest, easiest thing to do is play victim and become depressed. And just hope and pray things changed. But that's a weak mindset. It's a weak way to live. You have much more power than that. So it's important to remember that. Alright guys, thank you very much for joining in. Birds and nature can't beat that. Yeah, that's it. May the universe bless us all. Absolutely. Anger is motivation without purpose. Yes, absolutely. So yes, it's an energy that you can use, and if you put a purpose behind it, it can be used to benefit you. It can be used to benefit you. Absolutely. Like sometimes, like for example, like a lot of martial artists or bodybuilders, like anger, they take it out of the gym. Like go for a workout when you have anger or when you're frustrated and you have anger, take it out. Take it out on the punch bag, take it out on the weights, like get it out, but just don't hold it in. That's the most important thing. This is why movement is medicine. Like doing something is medicine. This is why Qigong is medicine. Qigong is about moving energy, because everything is just yin yang, positive, negative energy. I'm always trying to balance energies out myself. But again, it doesn't make me immune to negative stuff happening, but it makes me more prepared to deal with negative stuff. That's the most important thing. It's like preparing for battle every day. Like every day is a battle. Like every day in the markets is a battle. Every day in life is a battle. Not every day seems like it. A lot of days for me, most of the time are not a battle. Okay, not a struggle. Most of your days, they're not battles most of the time, most of the days. But it can seem like that because we focus on the problems. So there are times where there is really no problem. So this is why I was saying, like, worrying is actually, a lot of the time, worrying about things that are impractical. Meaning it doesn't make sense for you to be thinking about it or worrying about it. It's more than likely never going to happen. But because fear is such a strong emotion, we're not overshadowed with energy and love. That can be all you focus on. So this is why movement takes you out of that mindset. It gets you focused on doing other stuff and seeing what else is out there. So this is why, like, we need to relax and meditate, because it's very important to go into yin mode and relax and meditate. But if we're not in this day and age, we're not like yogis living in the caves. We're not living in the jungle, many of us. We're living in a real world with shit going on every day that's testing us, right? So we're not secluded from Maya, illusion, and the bullshit. We're inside it, a lot of us. We're right in it. So we have to deal with the bullshit. So for this world, this is why Osso was massive on dynamic meditation. My meditation, a lot of it is dynamic meditation. Like, I say do a combination of sitting meditation and walking meditation. Right? Not just walking meditation, not just sitting meditation, both. That's the yin and the yang. The yin is sitting down, relaxing meditation. The yang is a walking meditation. Go out, walk in nature. Go out, exercise. Like going to the gym and exercising is meditation. Being on the running machine, going for a run is a meditative state of mind. Right? People forget, like, these are dynamic meditations in this day and age. Like, exercise is meditation. Like, you're going into a state of mind where you're forgetting about your problems. Right? If you've never exercised before, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've exercised to some degree, you will know you forget about, you're focused on whatever you're doing. So, mindfulness. What is mindfulness? You're being mindful about whatever process, technique. Like, washing the dishes can be a meditation. It's you become mindful about what you're doing. Right? When I go for a walk in the countryside, it's a meditation. So I'm listening to the birds, I'm listening to the wind rustling through the trees, I'm watching and observing wonderful nature created by God. Not man's world. I'm not looking at a house, I'm not looking at skyscrapers, I'm looking at nature. Like, there's a massive difference between looking at nature and a solid building, right? God did not create a house. God did not create the skyscrapers in London City. So that's not going to help me connect with God. When I want to connect with God, I want to connect with what God created. So people, animals. Like, I've got 3 horses, I'll connect with my horses. My cat. Like, being with your animals connects you with God. Like, music connects you with God. Love connects you with God. Like, this is love, right? Selfless service. Love connects me with God. Nature connects me with God. So it's very, very powerful. Like, simple things. Like, do not underestimate the simple things, like going for a walk, being around nature. But again, just important, like, because we have a day and age where people are so interested in meditation, but I find it very dangerous, because I've been there. When you're depressed, especially if you're suicidal or something, it's not the best place for you to be, sitting down or laying down, trying to be in a meditative state of mind, because it's very difficult to relax at times when you're in that frame of mind. In this day and age, people are struggling with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, like drug addictions, alcohol addiction. Like, it's a lot. We're not yogis. We're not living in the jungle. We're not living in caves. So we can't just simply meditate and that's it. Like the simple, just sitting down, relaxing meditation. That is important. And I do that. I sit in my garden and I will meditate for an hour, 2 hours at a time. Okay? I don't watch TV. Most of the time, if I'm sitting indoors, I'm meditating. So that's my yin mode, but I have to be in yang mode. So the Taoist way is do nothing, then do everything. You can't just do nothing. You have to balance it out, like 50-50. Like, do everything, then do nothing. Yeah, man, I use my dog as therapy in the park. Animals are so therapeutic. Yeah, 4 horses, Mary. Brilliant, I have 3. And they're just beautiful animals. It's actually a really well-known thing. A lot of autistic children, they begin to heal themselves being around horses. Like horses, they have this real strong connection with horses. I have a real strong connection with animals in general. So I love animals. So, you know, for me, it's people, right? We're living things. Like, I love plants, animals. There's a God, like, God's had a dream. God's had a dream. God has created me, created you, created all human beings, created the animals, created the fish, created the insects, created the plants, the flowers, all this living stuff, the oceans, the lakes. Man has created this picture on the wall, this house, this t-shirt. This is man's dream. These are man's dream. We are man, right? Men can dream and create stuff like t-shirts. Like, I have a dream, I'll create a book. I have a dream, I create a business. I have a dream, I've designed my own t-shirt, right? I have a dream, I can create something physical, but I can't create what God creates, which is life. Saying that, we as human beings can create life, right? We can create life as well. So we have that creative life-creating ability, which is a blessing from God as well, right? So it all comes from God. Life is from God. The ability to create life as human beings is from God. The ability for other animals to create life is from God. So that's all from God. And we got to differentiate between what's man's fucking world and what's God's world. Like, we need to connect with God's creation, God's world, and not get lost in man's world. Like, what's happening in places like Dubai? Even the beaches are fake. The islands are fake. They're man-made. They're not even made by God. That's fucking with God's nature, man. You know? That's the problem in this world. Like, men are playing God. In a dangerous way. And we need to remember, the divine is, we have power, man. We have power. But all that power only comes from one place. The divine source. The divine source is where all energy comes from, and it's all going to go back there. We all come from one place, we're all going to go back to the same place. Doesn't matter what you call it. We're all going back to the same place. We all come from there. And that source is what we're connecting to. And as I said, in this illusion, we will have those tests. So this consistent test of our faith will be there. Because unfortunately, that's what it takes. Because it's very easy to become lazy. Unfortunately, what even I know, and many people know, God knows, a lot of the time, people only really wake up and listen when they are pushed up against the wall. When something goes wrong and they have to do something about it. But as I keep saying, like, we don't have to wait for those moments. We can make changes. It's hard to make changes when you don't really need to. That's why it's very difficult for people to start doing breath work, for example. Because people are breathing anyway. People are like, why should I do breath work? I'm breathing anyway. Well, this is why, because your conscious mind is only processing 128 to 300 bits of information per second. Your unconscious mind is processing 4.3 to 20 million bits of information per second. Your breath is mostly unconscious. And most of your thoughts are unconscious. So if you want to learn how to control your mind, you need to learn to control something that's unconscious. So when you consciously take control of unconscious breathing daily, you're practicing, training your mind to control and become conscious of the unconscious. It's about becoming super conscious. Everyone is already conscious and unconscious, but not many of us are super conscious. Super consciousness requires becoming conscious of the unconscious. And breath is the king and queen to achieve that. God made it easy for us. Let's put it that way. He didn't make it hard for us to figure out the truth, because God has made it very easy for us to figure it out. Right? Because what's the one thing without it, you're dead? What's the last thing that you take before you pass to the other side? Your last breath. I saw my brother take it in front of my eyes. His last breath. Everyone comes into this life with a certain amount of breaths, as it says in the Guru Granth Sahib. Everyone's number of breaths is already recorded. They're expiring. So use them wisely. So if you're just unconsciously breathing every day, you're not taking control of the beauty, the blessing of life itself, prana, life force energy. So most people are just unconsciously breathing. Because that's the easy way. It's always the easy way. The easy way is to just be alive. You're alive, you're alive, you're going to die. That's the easy way. But there's a massive difference between being alive and actually living. And taking control of that life. That takes control. You need to take control of life force energy for that. This is why my big thing is taking control of prana through the breath work and chi through movement. Because those are the two forms of practices we can do to connect directly with life force energy. Breath, because without it you're dead. So become a master of breath. Master breath. There's no wrong way to do it. Just consciously breathe. Yes, I've got a framework. Themindofmatter.com. There's a 8-module course, completely free. If anybody hasn't already got it, just go to themindofmatter.com, www.themindofmatter.com. Hit the green button. There's an 8-module course on the Kambo breathwork. 4-step framework. 10 to 20 full exhalations out, little pause. 10 to 20 full inhalations in through the mouth. Pause, breath retention to activate higher consciousness, and then some rhythmic breathing. That's it. It's over in 3 minutes. It doesn't even take long. So I do breath work throughout the day because that's my way of getting energy. It reduces anxiety straight away. It reduces my level of doubt and fear straight away. It increases my belief, confidence, and energy. So those 3 things that I spoke about earlier to defeat doubt, fear, and anxiety, belief, confidence, energy, you get more by doing the breath work. So that's why the Kambo breath work is an energizing form of breath work. The Qigong is a movement to music, and it's a way of feeling qi. So in your hand you can feel energy. In between your hands, and everything is energy. And there's energy all around you here. Like this empty space is all infinite potential. It's full of energy. So energy is available in abundance. Like people always say to me, how do you have so much energy? I always have a lot of energy, and I can always bring more energy in. I can always reduce my energy and relax whenever I want to. Because I'm a master of energy. I've trained myself to master energy through breathwork and Qigong. But by mastering energy, by mastering breath and energy, I've learnt to master my unconscious mind. Okay? Well, I'm learning to master it. Because there's still a lot of work to do. Without a doubt. I definitely haven't mastered it. I'm working on mastering it. But I'm mastering breath and Qigong to help me master my unconscious mind. Because your unconscious mind is the one that's in control. And that's the one you feel like you can't control. That's why a lot of people think, like, why the fuck can't I just shut up? Because it's unconscious. It's not your conscious thoughts that are the problem. Your conscious thoughts are just choices and decisions you make. They're easy to stop. You just don't make a choice or a decision. Your unconscious thoughts are the ones that are there that are causing the problem. They're programs. So you can't change those until you start doing stuff like NLP, timeline therapy. There's technologies, right? And stuff that I do with therapy. Right? So you can do stuff like hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming. So I've been certified in NLP since 2005. I became a master practitioner in 2006, and timeline therapies. So they're in your mind, there's a representation of time. So past and future is only in your mind. You can't touch it. It doesn't exist. It's only a concept in your mind. And everyone has a timeline, meaning their past is in some direction in reference to their body, and their future is in some direction in reference to their body. And in timeline therapy, I actually take people back into the past and into the future, traveling up and down their timeline, and even into past lives with past life regression. Okay, because there's deep work that can be done on the mindset. But what I have found through my nearly 20 years of experience with that field is that energy trumps everything. Energy trumps everything. Like, even if you don't do NLP, you don't do hypnotherapy, as long as you do breath work and something like Qigong and some of these other practices I talk about, you can get away with it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that for everyone. Some people need it. Like, there's a lot of past trauma. You definitely need therapy. Right? It's easier to get a therapist. Like, do not ever struggle in silence. Like, if you struggle a lot with depression, anxiety, whatever, like when I was struggling really badly, I got help. Even though I'm a certified practitioner and NLP therapist myself, I got help. Because a therapist cannot help themselves in the same way they can help another person. I can help myself, but not in the same way. But when you're in a real bad place, it's hard to help yourself. So that's when you need external help. This is why I provide therapy, coaching myself. But I've also got and hired coaches and therapists myself throughout my life, a number of times. Because they're essential. Coaches and therapists are essential, in my opinion, because you need accountability. It's very difficult to make changes yourself when you're in a real bad place. It's very difficult. So this is why I try to do what I can and provide what I can on this page, you know, for free as well, because people do listen and they do. It is changing lives. Like, I have people from all around the world sending me messages all the time that it's what I'm sharing is helping them. So I continue to do it more. The more better feedback I get, and the more I know it's helping other people. It's not only helping me, it's helping other people. The more I do it. So it's all about that. Denota, this is true alchemy, transmuting energy, flowing with it, being present with it. Absolutely. Like yin yang, a lot of people don't understand. Taoism is alchemy. Like really mastering yin yang and learning how to, like, Qigong is alchemy, like on a magician level. Like, you're literally transmuting energy and moving energy with your hands, right? So the next, like, I've done the 4 masterclasses already on the breathwork. The last one I brought Qigong into it. If you missed it, it was the breathwork masterclass session 4, which I brought the Qigong in as well. The next one I'm going to do is going to be more the breathwork and the Qigong. And I'm going to be talking more about the moving meditation and about transmuting energy. But I've done a lot of lives already on IGTV. So I've done, you'll see the last one on transmuting. If you're interested in how I'm using breathwork and Qigong in more detail, the last one, the breathwork is session 4 or 5. Okay, session 4 or 5. That one I brought the breathwork with the Qigong together, and I spoke about, you know, feeling the energy in the hands, the yin, the yang, the Ida Nadi, Pingala Nadi, which is the divine feminine and divine masculine. Like, when we talk about yin, that is the divine feminine, passive. The woman, the womb is passive. It receives. The divine masculine, just like a man's penis, is a erect penis, it's evasive, right? So there's passive and then there's expressive, right? Passive and expressive. Yin is passive. So we have to always need to understand our mind needs to go into both these modes. We need to become passive, like allow, receive, receive, receive. That's when we let go and we meditate and we relax. But to really allow and receive without all the nonsense, we got to do first. So this is the Taoist way, is do nothing, do everything, then do nothing. Like, get stuff done. Like, get moving. Make sure you're getting activities done. Like your work, your business, not putting things off. Exercising, going for a walk, like a walk in meditation. Walking meditation or walking nature for me is a doing. Going to the gym is a doing. A moving meditation, Qigong for me, is a doing. Right? So that's a doing. A non-doing part will be just sitting down, relaxing in my garden, watching the clouds. Which, if you watch my stories, I do that a lot. I sit in my garden and I just relax. Or I sit inside my house. A lot of the time, I don't watch TV. If I do watch TV, it'll be maybe an hour or 2 in the evening. Recently, I've been watching a series called The Chosen on Amazon Prime about Jesus, which is really good. So I like to watch stuff that's going to educate me. So I like to watch Gaia, like subscription on Gaia. I have a subscription to Gaia, which is a fantastic thing to have. There's great documentaries on it. So I will watch a little bit of TV, but I don't watch nonsense. Like, it has to educate me. You know, don't get me wrong, I'll watch movies for fun, especially comedies. I love stand-up comedy. So things that make me laugh, things that make me feel good. I love movies, right? Films. But I'm not going to waste my time watching too much nonsense. Like, generally broadcasted TV, like, I try to stay away from that too much. I'd rather relax and let go and go into my non-doing mode. Right? So my non-doing is like not watching TV, not doing anything. That for me is real meditation. But that real non-doing, like to really experience that quiet, peaceful state of mind, you get it. Like if you've had a real hard day at work, or real, like you really expressed yourself fully in the day, you will find it easy to relax and let go. It's hard to let go when you're doing nothing. It's hard to sit there in silence and meditate if you know you're not doing anything with your life. It's hard. Because the reality is, you know you should be doing something. So to go into meditation, you can't just meditate. Like, you got to be doing something about bettering yourself. There has to be something that you're doing. Then you can meditate. Then you can meditate in a beautiful way. Then you can find true bliss, true serenity, just by walking in the countryside, just by sitting in the garden. You don't have to do any funky meditation. Like, people are wasting their time with all these funky meditations. If you are actually doing something in this life and you have earned that moment to relax, you will be in bliss anyway. You will be in bliss. So this is the Taoist way. The Taoist way, you have to do and then you can relax. So I relax a hell of a lot. But when I'm not relaxing, I actually find it difficult to relax. Because I'm always thinking about what can I do next. Because I feel like I'm wasting time. But this is a battle that I have with myself. You know? So sometimes you can go into that. So it's important to find the balance. Like, you can become like a workaholic, doing too much. Like, never stopping. Like, that's not good either. That's imbalance. It's all about balance, right? You can always do, you can do too much. You can do too little. The idea is to do enough and also spend time not doing. It's balance. That's the key to a happier, joyful life. Balance. Really is. All right, guys, I think I talked a lot longer than I expected, but thank you very much for joining in. Much love. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much for joining in and listening in, and it will be recorded if you caught it later on today. I've probably been speaking over an hour actually. But it's always a pleasure. Much love. Take care. Have a great day. Speak to you soon.